You're now watching Hip Hop BC Before Corporate. My name is Definite. I am the creator of the show. And today we're going to cover the music element, the history of hip hop. So stay tuned and enjoy the show. Holla.
STARCHILD, baby. Come on, let's go. Yo, yes sir, you know who it is already. It's KOOL, the original STARCHILD, my man definitely behind the camera. This is Hip Hop BC before corporate, before the money, before the deals, and before the bling, all of that. We talk about what's important in our culture, because without the bricks there would be no building. Now, since I just said that, they should call you the architect. You know why? Because without an architect you can't design the building. Now, people can do the physical labor, but someone has to design it, and someone got to put it on paper, put it on the microphone, put it on the turntable. It's my pleasure and honor to introduce my homeboy. I've been knowing him since 1977, when I used to go with Yolanda Montgomery Mello. DJ Hollywood in the building. What up, baby? What's up, baby? How you, man? Good to see you. Good to see you. You're healthy, you're doing well, you look great. And yo, your story in pertaining to what I'm trying to do is extremely important. Now, I've done many interviews around the world for years. I had a couple records that did pretty good, like overseas and whatnot. And these cats always ask me. They bring up the DJ question and R&B, disco, and then slash hip hop. Now, I know for a fact what this man did. Briefly, it's not about me, it's about him. But the first person that ever gave me a microphone when it mattered, because I had done parties before, when it mattered, was this man right here. He had the premier club in the Bronx, a room that held, let's say 250, but you would have 600 in there. Yeah. And they were like this, right? Like this, right here. You couldn't even sneeze.
They was boogieing though.
Yeah, but they was boogieing. Okay, so he gave me the opportunity. I'm not gonna say idolize, but I have crazy respect for DJ Holly. And I talk about his beginnings, his creation of a certain rhyme style, because I was different in the beginning with all of them. Me and Flash were like this, me and the Furious were like that. Okay, me and the Funky were like that. He was a little bit older, and he pertained to an older crowd, but he had that rhyme dynamic on top of certain music that he just manipulated like it was his toy. And they learned his stuff so well that he could turn the music off, just say a rhyme, turn the music off, but the crowd would have to respond. If Hollywood said, young ladies, pull your panties on, sniff them and throw them in the air, they going like this. Straight like, you don't stop it, you don't. Okay, I was a witness to that. So, it's an honor and a pleasure to talk to you. Good, let's get right to your beginning. Like, when did you actually start DJing? Like, you had not even your own turntables, you actually started playing.
Well, you know, like, for me, I don't really put the beginnings of what we're doing before you got paid to do.
Right.
A lot of people put those timelines in, and that's cool, you know what I'm saying? But I think I got my first job in 1971.
Wow.
So that's where my beginnings come from.
Yes.
All the time before that was just practice, and I was just trying to do something, and wasn't nobody really paying it no mind. But once I got a check with it, somebody understood that what I'm doing
had value.
You know, And if you have no value, then this is a rough game to play. 71 was a total different time because that's like the beginning of what they call disco.
Yes.
But, you know, I was playing music before disco came out. And they eliminate me from hip-hop because of certain reasons. A couple of reasons I heard was I didn't have on khaki dungaree pants,
Lee dungarees is cool, right?
And I didn't fit into the realms of not being dressed, and I wasn't in the park. A whole lot of I wasn't, and I was like, okay, so you young fellas want to tell me, an older fella, about a park? When I was playing in the park, when I was doing block parties in the street, your mother was holding your hand, not letting you go to the park.
If you were even alive.
Yeah, so you can't speak on what DJ Hollywood did or didn't do because you don't know me from being a kid.
Fact.
The other side of that is I am not from the Bronx, so you don't know me when I was young in the game. You have no clue of who Hollywood is other than, unlike you heard of me.
There you go.
When I came to the Bronx, there wasn't no hip-hop. There wasn't none of that. They wasn't doing any parts of that. B-Boys was the major construction of what Bronx element was.
Very good.
The Bronx element was tied to who could boogie. If you couldn't boogie, you stood on the side and you watched people boogie. We're gonna have to take breaks every now and then because we're in a neighborhood.
Yeah, we sit in front of the building and people need to get in. They could be on camera too, but they probably don't want to.
They don't want to sign a release.
You like it, you remember when you did the sound. Hollywood, baby, dog, just coming to down. Gonna take you up and bring you down. Turn your good doing ass around. And everybody in the place just needs to know when it comes to rocking that stereo. Hollywood, baby, dog, is good to go. So tell your mama, I said so. I said all the hungry people be quiet.
Running the music in New York, Pete DJ Jones, Flowers, Man Boy, Griffin Cliff. You had a lot of guys out of Queens. You had King Charles. You had Divine Sounds. These cats were doing major parties. Flowers, who a lot of people, I guess, fell asleep on. Or it's basically the same thing as About Me. You just didn't know about it. You were too young to even absorb.
Plus he was in Brooklyn too, right?
Yeah, but being in Brooklyn, see, what makes this go bad, to make the whole thing that makes this go bad is you're saying that hip-hop starts in the Bronx. Okay, I mean, that's fine, but for me, hip-hop started in New York. Period.
Gotcha.
There are guys all over New York who had elements of what we do.
Right.
Some of them didn't push it hard, but they had the elements of it. Break records don't belong to Kool Herc. Break records were records that the DJs around the city played them, but they wasn't like the main forte. Okay, the Bronx made it their main forte because they was diving on the ground and breakdancing and whatever, and that's why they absorbed that type of music so hard. But we had those records too. They just wasn't made for the major part of our evening. We dropped them in, let them do what they do, and then we got out of that and we were on to the next
level, right?
Yeah, they did 25, 30, 40, 50, maybe 60 break records. We ain't do that. But during the course of a week, we might have played every one of those joints, but in segments. They only they get in where they fit in.
There you go. That's a true DJ.
Mixing Mixing is a quality that a lot of DJs, even today, the top dogs that y'all listen to, their mixing ability ain't really that great. They're great sound on record. Oh man, it's crazy. But when they switch from that record to the next record, it's a little suspect.
There you go.
It's a little suspect. Because transition is also a part of the game, moving forward. And a lot of guys don't transition well. I mean, they can find the time because they just snatch mix it, but they can't stay in that pocket from 60 to 120. You know what I'm saying? So that's what the DJ's ability is when it comes to it. Now, so far as a DJ talking while playing the record, you gotta understand why it's not that many cats that do it, because it's like a drummer. You gotta, if you're the drummer and you sing in the band, your job is a little harder than the rest of it.
Yes.
You understand? If you're mixing records and you're having a conversation at the same time, the task of it ain't that easy. Because of God and the spiritual beliefs that I have, all things that I do are controlled by the God. A lot of guys got so many reasons about how they started this, and they the father of this, and they make this, that, or whatever, and they leave out the one true fact that this is motivated by the God. This is brought to you by the God, and it don't work unless the God is with you. It's a spiritual being. That's why hip-hop became so big, because God, at the time of its inception, realized that black people were almost at a standstill so far as coming up. Factory jobs were still available, so families survived because of the factory jobs. And the man in the house could work in the factory, no education, got a good job with benefits, and he could take care of his part of the family. The mother, sometimes she worked in the family too, so therefore you had two people with benefits, so their kids could go to the dentist, see the doctor regularly. Those weren't problems, those weren't even things. There was drugs around, always been drugs, but that wasn't holding the black man down. I guess white America realized that, and they said, man, listen, man, these cats are getting away with too much. We're giving them too much. Wow. Shut these factories down. Okay, now when you shut the factory down, you kill the uneducated guy. The guy that didn't go to school. Okay, and then you took all those programs out of the school, because a kid coming out of high school could be a plumber, could be a mechanic.
Yes, sir.
Because it's shop class. Your knowledge of how to use your hands was made available to you in school from the 5th grade up. They took those things away. Arts and crafts became something like a lab. You have a better chance of capturing a giraffe. People don't realize that the mechanism and the plot for separation has always been in view of the black man, and they always took advantage of it. Hip-hop, unlike jazz, unlike rock and roll, unlike rock, unlike all musics of every other genre, our music is old school, new school. You got old jazz, you got new jazz. Some even call it contemporary. But there's no separation in it. We live in a world today that's so plastic. Everything has its title, and everything is this. And if you're my age, you really don't supposed to be in this game according to the map. But there's guys in this game way younger than me show me respect. Show me mad love, even if they don't want to.
All do. They have to.
See, because unlike all the other old school cats in this game, I'm still on top of my game. I still practice every day. I still go and turn my tables every day, every night, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. It doesn't make a difference. Whenever I feel something, I go to my table to get the answer. People from back in my days, they're a little bit more laid back now. They ain't as good as today's guy because they wasn't continuously keeping up with the flow and the traffic of the music. Guys say, yeah, man. Young dude too. He told me, yeah, man. If you ain't got no turntables, you know, you ain't really no DJ. And I had to look at dude like, really? Because I remember when I was playing on BSR McDonald's. These are turntables with the reject button on it and all that. And I had 45 discs to put my records in. And I was doing my job, but the turntable didn't make me a DJ. People did. And the same thing today. If you are in a booth, nobody know what you're doing. And they don't care as long as the party is rocking. So you having a turntable or you having a controller or whatever you got, if you make it work, if you're doing the job of what a DJ's supposed to do. A lot of us got this messed up. A lot of us think that, you know, like if you're a rapper, you know, you do whatever. A lot of rappers told me, you know, yeah, you ain't hip hop. And I'm like, you know, I'm like, really, dude? You know, yeah. Well, if you want to look at it in terms of how it's laid down, I don't think y'all are hip hop. I think all of y'all are disco, if that's what it be, because what you're doing actually comes from what I did. Now, I don't care how you want to put it, but all of y'all are wearing my DNA all over you.
Sir.
It ain't my fault. I just was here before you. It ain't my fault, really.
I didn't mean to be your daddy, but
yeah, like I said, you know, it's amazing how as time transpires and people go into takeover mode, you know, they get like Columbus. You come to America, and you discover America, which is already here. People are already living in America when you come. But no, you discovered it. That's some serious thing. Because hip-hop, as they put it, doesn't really get a go till late 76.
Very good.
You know, late 76 is when hip-hop started to get a go. In 77, it blew up because they had a riot going on. They had a blackout. And
what happened behind that blackout?
People were able to grab equipment, microphones, everything that they never had before in their life. And because their families at that time couldn't really afford to do it. They eliminate the kids in Queens and the kids in Brooklyn, but they come from a family of parents. Not my father or not my mother. They had their mother and their father, and their mother and father had a decent job.
And provided for them.
And had a garage for them to put their stuff in. What you had? I gotta go get Bill because he got my records over there, and I gotta go get Tom because he got my speakers over here and my amps. Oh, I got my amps in my room. Okay, you did the best you could with what you got. People equate. I don't want to start calling names because I don't want to go through it, but they equate the guy that had 2 columns and an amp as the guy who was blowing away everybody in the vicinity because his thing was loud. But if you're 11 and you're listening to these speakers, you think that this is, oh my God.
The epitome.
Yeah. But you got people in Queens and people in Brooklyn. Their system's a tri-amp, meaning it takes 3 amplifiers to run each section of sound that they're putting out. He got 1 amp running the whole system. He got an echo chamber. People just don't know. And when you're dumb to the fact, doesn't make you a dummy, just you don't know the facts. Right. You understand? Okay, to me, most people from early days of hip-hop didn't know Hollywood. After they found out about Hollywood, because they heard, they never saw it, they heard. Should tell you something, because I never heard of y'all.
There you go. Facts.
I went around checking for them. Yeah, I remember Smokey's Machine. I remember a lot of the acts that were coming out, L Brothers. I remember a lot of dudes that was doing things. But big, they wasn't doing it big. Me, by the time I came to the Bronx, I was in clubs. I was polished. My act was amazingly strict for entertaining. Everybody else had their own thing. During the battle days, excuse my language, but I just put ass in the battle days, not because I was so strategic with my turntable, but my act was my act. I always had a party. I don't care where it's at. A party meaning everybody's involved. So when I'm rocking, the whole crowd is rocking with me. When these cats were scratching, when these cats were doing crazy mixes, people stood there and watched and looked. They didn't get involved. So at the end of the battle, who had fun? Yeah, that's right, I'm still DJ Hollywood.
You know what, man? Listen. As an eyewitness to a lot of formative years in your history, I always had mad love for you on a personal level and a professional level. You are an exquisite and consummate music professional, which is sorely lacking today. Yeah. This man studies people, their movements, rhythms, beats. He can play, he can sing. He is a musician first, and a consummate DJ, and master of a microphone second. I know. Am I blowing smoke up here?
No.
I've seen it and I know.
Yeah,
this has been one of the biggest pleasures of my life, because this is DJ Howard. He's very busy. I'm a star, y'all. I'm kind of busy. But yo, boy, man, thank you so much for your insight on the game and whatnot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, baby?
I'm still at my craft, man.
DJ Howard is still doing his thing. KOOL Television, STARCHILD, definitely behind the camera. This has been Hip Hop BC. You heard it first from one of the first people that decided, let me say a word or 2 or 3 words, a syntax sentence, maybe a paragraph over music. And you did it right. Syncopate, my brother. Good talking to you.
Worked pretty hard, but before I quit, want to leave you with one more of this Hollywood.
Shit.
Walk around without a care, spending money like a millionaire. I'm the man with the funky beat, so good like sex every day of the week. And when I get to heaven, I want you to know I'll be rocking with KOOL on another disco trip.